Good evening, this is Rebecca. I am just sitting at home on the couch, but I had this idea that I wanted to make a video tonight, and so instead of trying YouTube today, like I did in the last nudge, I am trying the web camera on my home laptop instead of my work laptop and seeing how this goes, because this too uploads directly to YouTube. It's just so easy. Now, obviously, as you look at me and my surroundings, you can tell that this is not a professional background, and in some ways it's nice that I don't look very clear on the screen, right? Because it's hiding some blemishes. So, that's another story. But for yet another story, to start off with this, I wanted to share that in the last couple weeks I had gone online and I had gotten the guts up to share a few comments with a community I'm related to online, and I don't know why it took guts to do this, but everybody was sharing all these profound thoughts and comments, and I hadn't. So I thought, well, I'm going to share how I have made this drastic change in one area of my life, and I'm seeing the results of it. And I thought for sure someone would comment or, wish me luck or something, but no one did. And that wouldn't have bothered me if there weren't any comments on any of the other contributions around me, but everyone was commenting on all the other contributions, but no one was commenting on mine. Well, long story longer, I ended up deleting my comment because I felt kind of stupid actually, because I had gone out on a limb to share a piece of myself and no one responded. And so that got me thinking again about the importance of commenting in some of the groups that you're part of. Now, this is not an advertisement to start commenting and blowing up Nudge Village Facebook group, because ours is a safe environment to do that, but this is more for helping with you as individual entrepreneurs or idea sharers to start commenting in other communities that you're related to, at least. And here's the reason why. A lot of knowledge is shared and a lot of relationships are built through commenting on the web. I know, shocking, but at the same time, if you look at your offline life, that's how a lot of relationships are formed as well, and that's how a lot of information is shared. I don't know if you've heard of the water cooler effect, but it's a term that came about probably 10 or 15 years ago. It talks about many people's offices. There's a water cooler, and people go take a break, go get a drink. And often, an IT guy might share a tip with someone else about, how to fix a bug on their computer, or someone would talk to someone else about, what they were doing in life and find out they're both interested in water skiing, who knew? And so the water cooler effect was used to describe how you can get a lot of information as you're doing some of these simple interactions at work. And a lot of these water coolers in the online environment, most of us know these as social sharing spaces like Facebook or Ning, which is actually a community of practice, which is what the water cooler effect online is. They're communities of practice where people often fall into three categories. You've got the really active participants. You've got those that are kind of behind those active participants who are active sometimes, kind of pull back other times. Then you've got these peripheral participants, right? That they're always kind of the stealth people in the background. They're not commenting, you don't know they're there, but they are taking in parts of the conversation and the information shared. Now, I think that all of us kind of go up and down on that scale, depending on what group it is, depending on how we feel, what mood we're in, depending on whether you just want to be that fly on the wall learning, and on other days you want to be out there proclaiming your talent or your words to the world. So, based on that, the initial story I told you about how I suddenly became very, I guess I lost confidence, and I deleted my comment from that group because I was embarrassed that I wasn't getting any comments, so it must not have been good. Realizing the importance of commenting and hitting that little like button that seems so unimportant, how we have now associated some psychological reaction to it, and it has meaning to most of us. And so why is that important for an entrepreneur or for someone that has a new book out or that wants to get more photography clients? Well, you can do more to establish your online and offline reputation through simple things like commenting. So for example, if you take 10 minutes a day to start and maybe you can stay doing that because you're very busy with other things. Take 10 minutes to log in to your Gmail account or your Yahoo account, and specifically go on the web and find different groups that have to do with, like if you're a photographer, find photography groups and go and look up a few of the blogs and start making a comment or two. Make them meaningful, brief, share a link to your website if you think you have information that you'd like to share. Share another resource. That's great when one photographer says, hey, look at this other awesome photographer. And not only do that on blogs, but if you have a Twitter account, go on there and point out someone else's work and connect to them and start those conversations. Because what I think you will find, and I've found this, when I do that, all of a sudden people come back to my sites because they want to see who's paying attention to them, right? And especially if they're small, they're going to want to come find out. Another important thing, for example, using the photography analogy, is not to just comment on other photography blogs and websites, but also comment on wedding websites, comment on catering websites, comment on people's blogs who have children in your area, or different creative things that could show that, hey, I'm looking out to build relationships with people around me, people on the web, and I can help you, you can help me. And just because it's online doesn't mean you can't do some of the same things you would do in your neighborhood. So if a new neighbor moves in, sometimes some people will take them cookies, right? And say, hey, I'm so-and-so, here's some cookies. Well, the new neighbor's like, who's the person who brought the cookies, right? And they'll remember that for a while. So online, in a way, comments are giving your neighbors some cookies and expressing a little interest in them while you're there giving the comment. I have noticed that when I consistently spend only 10 minutes a day commenting through Twitter, through posting to other blogs, posting links of people's blogs on my Facebook, I get more traffic to my sites. When I let it go for a couple days, people forget you are there because there's so much information out there. And so it's important to daily do this. Some days you can promote yourself, other days spend your time promoting others, because I found that that is actually more effective than promoting myself, which is obvious, right? No one cares if you promote yourself as much as if other people promote you. And so I would encourage each of you to try this out if you're not doing it already. Many of you are awesome at this, and I just like to point out again, Barbara of Bija Coaching. Thank goodness she's a coach, because she is always the first person to hit like and make a comment, and so I get high self-esteem within 1 minute of posting something because it's already been accepted by someone, so it gives confidence to post more. And then we'd like to hear your experience, what you've experienced in commenting or what you've learned, because it'll be different for each person, and I can guarantee it won't be the same experience every day. And I'd even point out that Barbara, who's one of our best commenters, I didn't even know Barbara. Heidi introduced me to Barbara through Nudge Village. And so this is all connections that come through commenting and sharing. A lot of you are very busy, and a lot of you artists, sometimes artists in the form of photography, sculpting, book writing, like very creative endeavors, sometimes need some of us to help push along in those areas. And maybe you're too humble, but wanted to say feel free to have some of us post your stuff, and we do anyway, but take that time to go out and promote others and comment on what they're saying and doing and compliment them, because it can't hurt anybody. It always helps. Anyway, this is a very long nudge from Nudge Village, and I hope that one of you will respond with a video blog or a comment or something, so I can know whether this is on the right track or if you have more ideas. And again, this is not about just putting comments on Nudge Village. This is about putting them on other sites that will benefit you and your ideas in business. And we will talk later, I'm sure, but have a good evening.